see battle today. This will be a battle against some guy who likes bringing long snake Pokemon. I was quite surprised to see a Gyarados and a Steelix on his team. I wasn't too sure which one the Mega might be, but I guessed it will probably be Steelix because Gyarados can still do well without being a Mega. I also should say I didn't put it in the title, but this guy happens to be the second best player, the second spot in Canada, last leaderboards, not the ones that have reset now. So at the time of versing him, he was actually second spot, so I expected this battle to be quite interesting. So looking at his team, I knew what I want to lead out with. He leads out with Coco and Cresselia, and I'm thinking to myself, okay, well, I'm just going to do the Metagross Tapu combo, because if Cresselia tries anything, I got the taunts, and I'm going to try get rid of that Coco so that I can win the terrain war. He goes and sets up his electric terrain, and I'm going to go ahead and set up my psychic terrain because I'm slower, so therefore I win. Here I wasn't sure if he was going to switch out preserving the Coco. Maybe he wants to bring it in later because he might not want my terrain up, but he actually left it in, and well, he left it in when I Mega Evolved, and I was like, oh, okay, he left it in, and then it turns out to be a Volt Switch. So that tells me that this Tapu could be choiced. He's gonna bring in the Gyarados. Gyarados is gonna get nice Intimidate. I no longer have the Clear Body since I Mega Evolved. So now Metagross is gonna be at -1. I'm going to now just Zen Headbutt the Tapu slot, but I actually miss. And I just taunted Cresselia. I wasn't sure if this was going to be Icy Wind, but I didn't want to take any risks, so I didn't let it set up the Trick Room. Turns out it was going to go for the Trick Room, so that's a favour on my part. I managed to stop that, but he's going to go ahead and bring the Coco back in. I presume he wants that terrain back up. And here, I didn't dick about. I thought Cresselia is pretty much useless that turn, and I just did not touch Cresselia. I doubled down into Gyarados because I missed the Zen Headbutt the first time, and I thought to myself, if he does change the terrain, at least a Zen Headbutt Psychic will be enough, even without terrain. So I did a Zen Headbutt Psychic combo, once hitting defense stat, once hitting special defense stat. I assumed that no matter what happens, whatever this guy's EV spread is, this is going to KO. He sets up Dragonons, and he's at +1, but unfortunately for him, I've already taken out the Gyarados. So that's one threat out the way. Tapu's over here on 69, lol. Cresselia comes back in. I protect Metagross and I switch out Tapu. The reason I made this play is because if he sets up Trick Room, Aegislash is just going to wreak havoc on his team. So by all means, set up Trick Room if you want. And I protect Metagross because I assumed that Metagross might be taking damage this turn. So turns out it goes for the Helping Hand, doesn't go for the Trick Room. I protect just in case the Z Crystal comes out or something, but he actually goes for the Dazzling Gleam, which caught me off guard. I did not see that coming. I was sitting here thinking Dazzling Gleam. I'm confused. Like, was he trying to kill Tapu or something? So he goes for Dazzling Gleam. I got two Steel types in here, so he ain't gonna do much. And then this next turn he does it again, so now I'm 100% sure it's a Choice Specs Coco. So this turn I just go for Stomping Tantrum with the Metagross towards Tapu, because I'm pretty sure during this battle I took off Ironhead, so I use that, and here I just go for a full out Z move on Cresselia. I get rid of the Cresselia. Cresselia's gone. Don't give a shit about Cresselia. And I can assume what his strategy was gonna be. He didn't want to go for the Discharge just yet, because usually this choiced variants have Discharge, and that Discharge I'm gonna assume combos with the Steelix. So now he does bring in his Mega, which is the Steelix, but unfortunately for him, he's locked in Dazzling Gleam. So like I said, I assumed the combo was that he'll use a Choice Specs Discharge. Discharge in terrain does a lot of damage and has a high paralyze chance, and Discharge hits everyone on the pitch, meaning that his Steelix would also get hit by it, but Steelix being a ground type would be unaffected. So, I mean, I know he's choiced, but I still went for the wide guard because I honestly assumed that what could Steelix do? Steelix is either going to go for an earthquake or something. So I protect against the dazzling gleam. I don't take any damage, and I just try to kill off the Coco because I know it's not a threat, but I mean, by chance this guy is bluffing me. I just wanted to get rid of it. I'm pretty sure it was choice, so there goes down. There goes Coco. Coco goes down, and he actually did go for the earthquake. So this turn was a safe turn for me. At this point, I think he knows defeat. So what I do is just to show him, pretty much, he is been beaten. I bring in Landorus, and I get him at -1. And at this point, Landorus and Metagross and everything else I have is pretty much a win for me. So yeah, so I pretty much win this game. There's not much he can actually do. I've never really come up against Mega Steelix. I'm pretty sure this is the first time I encountered one. So I assumed it was just going to be like an earthquake, gyro ball, maybe rock slide. I assume protect. I'm not sure what they actually do, but I assume he bring his purely to pair up with Coco, because honestly that would have been a pretty nice strategy. But if he wanted to go for the discharge, I still have Landorus, and Landorus would have probably walled the crap out of him. So anyway, that's a win towards me, and we move on to my second opponent. My second opponent, now this was interesting. I enjoyed this battle, honestly. So my second opponent was some guy called Suup or something like that, and this was his team. And you can already see the Tyranitar Excadrill in the sand. He's got Milotic, and he's got that stupid little Togi Maru. I honestly forget its name every single time. So here I bring out Zapdos, Aegislash. I wanted to get up a Tailwind, and I just wanted to know what this guy's game plan was. He brings out the Fake Out and the Milotic. I chose not to lead Landorus, because Landorus would activate Milotic's competitive ability. So I kept Landorus in the back, and this turn I could see that he's going to try to stop my Tailwind. So I take a Fake Out Ice Beam. Ice Beam does huge damage there. So it's a good thing I didn't activate competitive, because that thing seems to be pretty highly special attacking. And I just decided to attack this turn, because I could see that there was no need for Aegislash to protect or anything, because I knew Zapdos wouldn't get up to Tailwind. So I just go for a Shadow Ball towards that Togi Maru thing. Todir Maru. I don't even want to bother learning his name. The thing's so fucking annoying. And he just goes for the Zip Zap this turn. I don't protect Aegislash, because again I assumed that he's just going to keep doubling into Zapdos. Zapdos is a problem for him. He doesn't want the Tailwind so that Tyranitar and Excadrill can get shit done. So I just go for the Z move on this turn. I don't play around, and I try to get rid of Milotic, or at least do as much damage as possible towards it. I managed to put it in red, and honestly I didn't see a single berry activate. So I'm thinking, okay, if these things don't have a berry, then the majority of Milotics have the Adrenaline Orb, which means that when Landorus comes in, not only does it get a +2 in special attack, but it gets a +1 in speed, because it had a stat lowered. So I don't bring in Landorus, I bring in Charizard. I'm just going to go ahead and Mega Evolve now. I know that he has a Tyranitar still, but I'm just going to Mega Evolve. I was worried that the Togi, the Maru, would outspeed Charizard, so I did protect Charizard this turn, but I Mega Evolved just in case Milotic went for a water type attack. So I had a strong feeling it would protect, but I couldn't guarantee it. So I Mega Evolve protect, I protect from the Zip Zap, and this turn I managed to get a kill on that thing, so that thing's down. I took no damage this turn. Like I said, Milotic protected, Charizard protected, I got a free hit in, and now he brings in Tyranitar. So now I could potentially have an issue, because I need to get my weather back up later. Charizard needs to stay alive. I bring in Landorus. Landorus does activate the competitive, and as you see, it does have the Adrenaline Orb item. So that Milotic is now at +2 special attack, +1 speed. That's pretty scary. But this turn, I'm pretty sure with Aegislash, I just went towards the Milotic anyway. And this turn, I didn't see this coming. It was a Mega Tyranitar. It just busted it out. Like, it didn't even save it for later. It didn't think, oh wait, when Charizard comes back in, he can Mega Evolve and get the sand back up. Scald is just going to absolutely wreck me. That thing is really powerful. But Aegislash is going to do its job, and it's going to try to take out the Milotic. I do take a Rock Slide, and here I was just like praying to God I don't flinch. Thank God I didn't flinch. Milotic was down. So this is the part of the battle that got really interesting for me. We're down to our last two Pokemon. He reveals the Excadrill, and at this point I'm thinking, okay, well, thankfully my plays have been on point. I protected the Charizard, killed the Togedemaru, and I managed to kill the Milotic with a free turn before it started absolutely sweeping. So this turn, just to play safe, I went for the double protect, just to get Aegislash back in defense form, and so I can decide on what play I want to make. So I'm going to pause the video in a second, because it's quite important I explain what's about to happen next, so people understand my thought process, because crazy shit is about to happen, okay? So get this, right? This turn I used double protect, the Excadrill used protect, and the Tyranitar used rock slide. So like I said, I'm going to have to pause the video a sec, because this turn is where it gets interesting. So everyone protected except Tyranitar, and I know Tyranitar has the rock slide. Now this turn, I already knew that there's a good chance that I might end up losing Aegislash on this turn, because after seeing rock slide, I want to go for a wide guard, and wide guard is a safe play because I need Charizard alive, and Charizard is what's gonna get me the kills. One Heat Wave will kill Excadrill with no problem. I know that Excadrill just used to protect, so that this next turn Excadrill is not gonna protect. So I know Heat Wave is gonna kill Excadrill and get some damage off on Tyranitar. So the safest play right now to keep Charizard alive is to go for a wide guard. Even if he doesn't use rock slide, it's still a safe play to go for wide guard. So if Tyranitar uses rock slide, Charizard takes no damage. If Excadrill uses rock slide, Charizard takes no damage. So if he knows I'm going to use wide guard, the worst that I can see happening is his Tyranitar might go for a crunch. But do keep in mind that Tyranitar is at -1. That Landorus came in earlier when it activated Milotic's competitive, and it put Tyranitar's attack down by 1 stage. So I know Tyranitar cannot kill Aegislash, and Charizard is going to be safe on this turn no matter what happens. And in terms of speed, this is quite important. My Charizard is EV'd to outspeed base 70s and 71s. So if that's a Jolly Tyranitar, my Charizard will outspeed it by 1 point. But the issue is that Excadrill will be the fastest Pokemon on the battlefield. Even if it's Adamant, my Charizard speed is 136, and Excadrill speed, even Adamant, just 252 is 140. So Excadrill is going to go first. So I have versed Excadrills in the past, and I know what kind of set they are. Looking at this Smogon set here, this is what I'm used to. Either they have the Groundium Z or the Life Orb, and I'm predicting it to be Groundium Z because that's all I've ever seen. He can't use Rock Slide because I'm going for a wide guard. I doubt he's going to use Iron Head. There's no reason to go for the Iron Head. And he can go for Earthquake, but again, I'm using wide guard, so most likely he might go for the Groundium Z. So my prediction here was that the Excadrill might go for the Groundium Z towards Aegislash. But it's fine because I will still get off the wide guard and hopefully protect from a rock slide coming from Tyranitar. I don't mind leaving Tyranitar alive for now because it will take heat wave damage, but at the same time my Solarbeam won't be enough to kill it, right? But I'm EV'd in such a way that I can live one rock slide from a Tyranitar. I'll be able to live a rock slide since it's at -1. So I'll take a rock. I'll go for Solarbeam, take a rock slide, and the next turn go for a Solarbeam and win the game. So here, I'm pretty convinced I have the game in the bag, right? I go for the wide guard. So this turn, no rock type attack is going to be hitting Charizard. And as predicted, the Excadrill goes first, busts out Z Crystal. What the hell is this? It's Continental Crush. I'm like, Jesus Christ. I did not even think about that. I did not even think that was going to be a thing. So that absolutely wrecks Charizard. Charizard just gets absolutely demolished. I'm sitting here, my jaw just dropped, and I'm just like, did I just lose? And look, I couldn't even take the crunch. The crunch was a critical hit. So I'm over here like, what the shit just happened? So I'm gonna have to take an L on that one. I got beat, but you know what? It is what it is, alright? I've learned something new here today. So I hope you guys enjoyed, and as usual, I'll see you lot in the next one.